Hey, you want it? I got it. Let's talk about it. Coming to you raw and uncut. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Alright, let's talk about it. As you know, Money in the Bank is approaching us. And it's been said on the news line that there's a huge WWE star expected to return at Money in the Bank. Alright, as we know right now, that Bayley hasn't been seen in a while. I mean, it's been since the 19th of April. It was Saturday on the kickoff show for WrestleMania. So her and Lyra were supposed to challenge Liv and Raquel for the women's tag team title. But Bayley was attacked, and we all know who the attacker was because she already admitted to it, and it was Becky Lynch. All right. So it pulled, Bayley from the match. And as we know, Becky and Lyra, they tagged up together and they did win the tag team titles from Liv and Raquel. All right, so it was good that, Becky stepped in. Everybody was happy. Everybody was cheering and stuff like that. And then after they won the titles, at WrestleMania that Sunday, um, they had their rematch against Liv and Raquel. And at that point, they lost the titles back to Liv and Raquel. And at that point, that's when Becky showed her true colors. She turned on Lyra, beat Lyra up. It was very, very severe. And they've been going on back and forth now since WrestleMania 40, since SmackDown, day after WrestleMania 41 and stuff. So you're figuring that the matches have already been, you know, settled and stuff like that. And, we got Becky feuding with Lyra, and we've all heard Becky saying that she made Lyra who she is and stuff like that, and then Lyra saying that she did things on her own, and she gave Becky her her respect and everything and stuff, but we know Lyra has continually beat Becky. Becky hasn't defeated Lyra yet and stuff, and it started with Lyra winning the NXT title from Becky Lynch. And I think that had a little hot spot in Becky, as Becky was out for a minute, and you know, and then came back and stuff like that. So I'm saying that Bayley is gonna come in, and how it's gonna happen, when they have that match and stuff, because that match has got a lot of stuff going on in it. If Becky wins, then Lyra has to raise her hand in victory. But if Becky loses, then Becky can no longer challenge for the Intercontinental title as long as Lyra is holding on to it. So I'm thinking at some point in that match, Bayley is going to come out. She's going to she, she's gonna have her field day with Becky, and I don't know if it'll end up causing a disqualification, and Lyra retains the belt that way, or she interferes to where Lyra actually gets a pin over Becky and stuff, which will say that she's beaten Becky 3 times, and Becky has still had not beaten her. So I'm sure that's going to leave a taste in Becky's mouth. But anyway, if Becky wins, then Lyra has to raise her hand, and then Becky becomes the new IC Women's Champion. But that's going to leave a feud with Bayley and Becky, which would be, I think, would be a good feud. And I don't think, like I said before, Becky does not really need a title to solidify herself and everything. Becky is who she is and stuff. Lyra actually has been making the IC belt. She's been making that belt look good as far as a mid card belt and everything. A whole lot better than that U.S. title belt is being represented it and everything. With Zelina Vega as the champion. So it's just like two different worlds and stuff. But again, we know Money in the Bank is coming. I've already put a prediction, video out, who I think that would win and stuff. And I believe I might have said something about Bayley and Becky on that, but I'm not sure. So I just put this video out just to, you know, cover the grounds. And I think that Bayley will show up at Money in the Bank. She will interfere or cause some kind of something that will cause Becky to lose. Because in my prediction on my video, I said that Lyra would win. So with that, please, and don't forget, I have a video out there with Women's Evolution. Also, before they even mentioned Women Revolution, Evolution was going to be coming out, and I picked uh, a, I put out like a card for myself, and maybe that if you go back and look at it and listen and everything, those matches that I put on there, I think would be pretty good matches because it actually looked like that's what could happen. Because I have it on there. Becky and Bayley and the Last Lady Standing match. I have Naomi and Jade in some type of cage match or something, like that. Just something to, and then the women's title, and everything. I mean, I think it's gonna be cool. I mean, I can't wait for Evolution to come out. But right now, we're on Money in the Bank, so I believe this is what I'm, predicting as far as my um, video on Money in the Bank. So, with that being said and stuff, SmackDown tonight, Money in the Bank tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or anything. But anyway, deuces. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.